nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon.
This is Houston, say again. talk. He's unmuting us.
Ladies and gents, welcome to the new rebranded show, What's the Intel? In this show, myself, Aaron, and Curran, my apologies, will be talking about anything and everything from sports, gaming, and any current news. So topics for today are coronavirus, how that's affected us and our lives, and how that's potentially affecting content creators around the world, whether it be you a YouTuber or whether it be you are a streamer. Now, before we get into today's show, make sure to go and check out our social links below. So there's a link there to our Twitter. There is a link there, I think, to our Instagram. There is also a few other links to our own personal social medias as well. So before we go, though, I do just want to apologise. We did have to restart the stream before. And obviously that meant that you guys had to wait a little bit longer for the show to start. But we are here. Gents, how are we doing? And I don't think they can hear me.
Us.
No, I can hear. I can hear.
We can't hear him.
I can't hear him.
They can't hear me. Oh dear. Right, stream. Bear with while we sort this minor technical difficulty out. I have no idea why they can't. Why they can't hear me.
Stanno.
I have no right. You know what? We're gonna have to do this then, aren't we? Stream. We're gonna have to plug this bad boy in. Hello, gents.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go.
Right.
We
okay.
can hear you now.
Right, temporary fix. I believe everyone can be heard. So we'll start again, gents. How are we?
I'm good, thank you. Now I was like, am I speaking to somebody who's like, I was like, who am I speaking to?
Very good now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank God we are back. So, I mean, I think, first of all, I think we're going to start off, obviously, with the new rebrand, with the new restructure of how the show is going to run. We may eventually end up, you know, reaching a bigger audience than what we probably would have got to before. Quick introduction. We'll start off with you, Ash.
What do you want to know about me? What do you want to know?
So background, i.e., you know, gaming, what games do you play, do you stream, etc., and then we'll move on to Aaron.
Well, firstly, started off gaming on Call of Duty, and then transitioned over to FIFA. But recently, I think the love for Call of Duty has kind of been thrown out the window. As you get older, as you get wiser, and you got more responsibilities, what you need to take upon yourself. But we've always had a love for content creation, so creating podcasts. I think this podcast is kind of in our own market, as we're allowed to kind of just do what we want to do as opposed to trying to please everybody else. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And what do you do in your sort of your day-to-day? What's your job? What do you do to keep yourself active, happy, healthy?
So at the minute, I am a coach / teacher for a professional football club. So working within the community there. Secondly, kind of just keep myself active in terms of the gym, football. So I do play football with Aaron on weekends, but obviously that's come to a kind of an end at the minute due to this lockdown. But at the minute, not much. Not much.
All right, same questions to you then, Aaron.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, my name is Aaron Taylor. I'm also known as a Team 96 on the Xbox, and can also be known as Twitch Taser EU on the PS, which has been fried and has gone to the bin.
Guys.
However, in terms of IRL, I am a teaching assistant that works in SE. So that's children with special needs or that needs further assistance. I work with them on a one-to-one basis at home. Love to game. Myself and Stanno were a duo at Fortnite. We're trying to get that competing. Well, that's it. In terms of physical activity, like Ash said, play football on the Saturdays and Wednesdays. I'd love for that. This is a team we play for, Chaddy Cots. It's a team we made. It's a team we made. Myself, our manager Dino, Dom, and Ash. I've all had a go in making this team, and we're doing all right.
All right, nice. Right then. So I thought it's probably best to kick things off with something that most people are talking about at the moment. Obviously, we're in lockdown. Obviously, you know, coronavirus is completely taking over the world at the moment. So I think touch up on what the current guidelines are. Even as of today, our government obviously brought out their announcement and there is no changes. So currently, we are being told to stay at home, only got yourself for food or health reasons or work, but if you can, work from home. If you do go out, you have to stay 2 meters, which is approximately 6 feet away from other people at all times. If you do go out, you are then obviously wash your hands when you get home, and you are to not meet others, even friends or family, as you can spread the virus even if you don't have the symptoms. So, Ash, how are these rules currently impacting and affecting you?
It's affecting me in terms of my job.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of just life, can't really do much, but you just got to respect the rules and the guidelines.
Yeah.
But before that, without football, I wouldn't really do much anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's having a massive impact on me in terms of what I usually get up to anyway.
Yeah.
But I think the only two things what really are impacting is work and probably football.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm sure that people out there have many more hobbies or interests and responsibilities than me. But I think even if you're a gamer full time, you're kind of stuck indoors anyway, aren't you?
Yeah. How's it affecting you, Aaron?
Well, as you two already know, for me, my girlfriend gave birth to a second child.
Congrats.
During this lockdown. So I'd finished work as paternity for 2 weeks. The same week that I finished was the same week that all this lockdown started.
Yeah.
So I was already away from work for 2 weeks before this started. Now, because of this lockdown, we had to spend extra time in hospital. While I was in hospital, no family members, nothing was allowed to. As you know, some females like more than one person at the birth. She was only allowed one birthing partner, which was obviously myself.
Yeah.
So I'm there crapping, bro.
Right, there's no way
doing it
I
all
could
on my
go through
own.
birth with you next to me, mate. Not a chance.
Hey, if you could go through birth, mate, we're doing it together.
But it must have been it must have been a lot more difficult as well because you've already got another child anyway, Lennon.
Yeah,
So
well, that's it.
Really hard for him.
Well, we had Lennon staying at grandparents. My mum and for the missus, definitely did affect her mentally. She was not allowed. The hospital allowed him to come in for the first few days, every other day for an hour. Only him was allowed in to visit her because she wasn't allowed. And then after about day 4 of that happening, so after the second visit, we was told no more. He's not allowed. Because obviously this virus was getting worse, more patients was coming in and out of the hospital.
Yeah.
So you respect that rule because they are doing it to only benefit you. However, it did start to get to the missus mentally. She was down, depressed, as well as already being stuck in the hospital. Financially, it cost a bomb to be in there, because I'm not sure what it's like down your area, Stanno, but the hospitals up here, we have to pay for the TV.
Yeah, no, it's the same down by me. Yeah, I don't know what the rate is, but I know my granddad's he was in a hospital for a while, and he had a TV. But to use the TV, you do have to pay like a daily rate, like you said.
Yeah, it was £7 a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like you said, that's from like 7 till 7. Bearing in mind you're 8 o'clock until 12 o'clock free anyway.
Yeah.
So we paid for it for about 4 or 5 days, simply because we didn't know we was going to stay in there for so long. And due to the lockdown, no family members allowed being
2 weeks, wasn't it? It was like 2 weeks and a bit, or
he was in
it
there for
12 days?
12 days, yeah.
12 days. And due to no family members being allowed up, we wasn't able to get our iPad essentials to watch our stuff on. And in the end, they said that I was allowed home and back for closing. So when I come back on like the 5th day, I then got an iPad.
Yeah.
Took all that stuff up. Then we didn't have to pay for the TV. We just watched it from 8 till 12. So for the virus, in terms of that, it affected us. Well, it affected the missus bad. Like I said, I was allowed home. So fortunately, I was allowed to. Our other child, I even spent a night at home because subconsciously, he's only a very young boy, but subconsciously you feel like he's he knows what's going on, although he doesn't.
Yeah.
And to everybody else could tell me he doesn't know what's going on, but subconscious, like you always have that thought of,
Does he actually know? Yeah.
But does he actually know? No, I know he didn't. Not a chance. He doesn't have a clue. He's too young. He'll want to remember it tomorrow, never mind when he's older. But
he's just more bothered about going home and ripping out wallpaper off.
So, but yeah.
That's
So that part of the lockdown was. In terms of work, I haven't been back to work since. However, my job, I'm still working. I've still got to go into work.
Yeah,
but
work, right?
Because I'm obviously a teaching assistant, the schools are still open, but only for any staff who have children in the school, or
key workers,
or children under my basis, which is children with SEN that have what they call an EHC plan, which that is the school get paid to look after that child and give the child the benefits that it needs. Because of the child's extra assistance needed. Now, I'm due in on the 20th, which is next Monday, for a week. And my school's doing a rota, so that's when I will go back to work. I'm one of the lucky ones with work. I've not been put on furlough. I still get full pay. I obviously know there's some people that can't work from, for example, construction workers that are still going in, or some of them have, like you said, been put on furlong, so they lose a bit. But so like I say, with my job, it's not tough. And as I pointed out, we're all gamers. We plan. I could just imagine the days if this happened when the days of Modern Warfare, jeez, there'd be no one complaining.
Nah.
I think what the problem. I think what's mentally is, I think it's more of like a press. Is I know I stay in a lot, which I do, but it's knowing that I have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was gonna say that.
I'd be at home now doing exactly the same thing what I'd be doing just after work. But it's knowing that I have to stay in if I am not traveling or doing any exercise, for essentials and stuff like that. I think that's what kind of plays in your mind.
I think, like you said, Jay, I think that the reason that people are struggling so much with this whole lockdown is that, bank holiday weekend, unless you were going out with your mates, whatever, the older generation of people, you would usually be in the house, your parents, whatever, be in the house. But it's more the fact that, like you said, that they're actually now, they physically aren't allowed out more than once a day, and they can't go. When they do go shopping, there's a big queue. Like, everything's now like such an extra effort to go and do the things that we took for granted, every single day.
Yeah.
I think it's realistically, an average human goes out once a day.
Yeah.
Goes to work.
Yeah.
You finish work, you might go straight to the gym. You're still out. You know what I mean? But
you
it's the
left your house
restriction of
once.
you're only allowed out once a day for an hour.
Yeah, and it's got to be local as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't really I've stopped using my car now.
Yeah, I mean,
because I'd rather just walk. I'd rather just walk because I just don't want to get pulled over, get in trouble by the police. I just don't see there's no point in it. So if you are driving, not for essential travel or anything like that, you need to stay at home. You can't put the message any clearer.
You can't. Okay, so I guess we kind of covered topic one, how it's impacted all of us. For me, it's not really impacted me too much, other than the general rules of the gyms are shut and all that sort of stuff. But it's affected me in the sense that I'm now working from home, which I was never allowed to do previously. And we've discussed this before, but for the benefit of the show, me working from home is possibly what I used to think would be absolutely amazing under the current circumstances, with how quiet the businesses that I work for, how quiet my role it has become. I'm now struggling to fill my days. So I'm supposed to work from 8:30 till 5, and there physically isn't enough work for me to do between that time. Yet because I'm still working and I'm getting paid for those hours, I have to find something to do to fill that time. So that part of it is really draining mentally, because you're sitting there thinking, I need to be working. what else can I do? And it's very difficult to stay off things like your Xbox, you know, when it's just there in front of you. The other thing that's difficult as well is obviously working out of my room, which is a place where I rest, a place where I chill out. Now having to work from it as well, having that, you know, that difference between a room, a place where you go, where you're switched on, where you're working, you come home to then chill. And now it's difficult to break that mindset. Like your mind's constantly working because you're in a place now where you're used to working now. So that's difficult. But as we're going along, guys in the chat, guys that are here, obviously watching live, let us know anything that this coronavirus has changed in your world. You know, is it, you know, have you had to cancel holidays? You know, any of that kind of stuff. Let's get you guys involved as well. But we will move on to our second topic of the show. Now, apologies if we phrase this slightly wrong, but hopefully from continuing listening, you'll understand our points here. So the topic is, has coronavirus helped the growth of content? And by that we mean, and I mean I'll kick it off here, but me and Ash spoke about this briefly earlier. My view on this is people like Syndicate, people like Alfie Days, you know, professional vlogging YouTubers, people who go out daily, people like that, they're obviously now not able to go out, they're not able to travel, which means the majority of their content is now things that they can do at home, whether it be cooking, learning new skills like the Sidemen did. So for them, I think potentially it's killing their channels off, because then they'll be struggling to think of these new ideas. I think for people, you know, smaller like myself, like Mitch who's in the chat right now, I think it's better for us because now we've got more time to actually focus on trying to just produce as much content as we can, whether it be a vlog, whether it be cooking, whether it be gaming. I mean, what's your take on that, Ash?
There's two ways about it. For the growth of content, I think it can also be seen as a positive as also as a negative as well, because now the YouTubers at the minute, like for example the Sidemen, they're struggling, very very struggling for video ideas and trying, because their content is solely focused on going out, doing activities, doing things together. But now but you can see it as a positive because now it allows them to adapt, and learn new things of actually we can actually do it. So instead of just going out and filming something, there's also that online platform as well where you can actually there's that much things you can do now where you could set up a Zoom call or whatever and stuff like that. And it can have a positive effect in that sense as well. But as you were just saying, I do agree, like the smaller YouTubers or smaller content creators would probably their eyes would be opening now and thinking, hey, what can I do here? But the difference is that YouTubers who are already at the top are already getting paid from YouTube anyway. So I think in terms of the whole lockdown, I think that the YouTubers who are full-time YouTubers, it doesn't affect them that much. Because they do what everybody really wants to do realistically, using content creators, is that making a living out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, even look at Vic. Like he came out in an interview and said that he absolutely loves it. Because he can solely focus on playing Warzone and streaming. That's pretty much who he is. And he's saying that doing Sidemen videos and going out of the way does hinder his schedule.
Personal schedule,
Yeah.
All right. What's your take on it, Aaron?
Hey, I'm not going to touch on the pro scene, or as we would call them, pros, because I think you two have just hit that on the head. In terms of the smaller and up and coming, I don't think there is not going to be a better time for someone to start than now. You've got, I'd say 80% of the world use YouTube, if not more. Daily. Now you're going to have all them eyes on YouTube if you can hit the right title,
the right market,
if you can hit the right time, the right day. Twitch streamers, if you get lucky one day, you've just got to take everything with a pinch of salt. You're going to get some days that are rough. You might get some days, and for YouTube, you might get some days where you get a video that absolutely bangs, skyrockets in views, and some days that it don't. For me, them YouTubers or Twitch streamers that are just starting, or the small ones that was already there and are continuing to grow, what they've got to do is use their platform wisely, plan the time wisely, because if they are unable to put in the same amount of effort and time into their videos or streams after this lockdown is finished, then they're going to struggle.
Yeah.
For me, they've got to make sure their time management and stuff is spot on. They've got to plan for the future for when lockdown's over, because it's all good banging all this out now. If you ain't going to continue on that speed, or well, not even speed, if you're not going to continue on that quality once it's finished. See, for someone like me, it'd be hard for me to set up a YouTube video or a YouTube scene, knowing once this lockdown's over, I'm not going to have that 4 or 5 hours a day free.
I was just going to touch upon that. It's like everybody's now at home, apart from key workers, and look how much content is actually getting pushed out.
Yeah.
Some of the content is getting through the cracks, as you would say. As Aaron said, that the ones what kind of go viral.
Yeah.
But the other ones is just content. Yeah. If you get what I mean. Sometimes it feels like people are just doing it for the sake of doing it. Like I have seen such an increase in TikTok videos on my social media. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like everybody is doing it. And when you get everybody doing it, the value of it goes down. For me, that's a personal opinion. So if Stanno's streaming Fortnite and pumping out Fortnite content, well, then somebody else and like a million people come behind and go, oh, actually, I'm going to do the same thing. People just go, what's this?
Yeah.
It's quality. It's
you
not
get
quantity.
bored of like the same thing as well. Yeah. Like you saying,
like when everybody jumps on the bandwagon, that's when you start getting a bit bored of it, and everyone's going, "Oh, everybody's doing it now." Yeah. So that's how I feel about it. Yes, it can improve you and help you grow certain aspects of your channel. I completely agree. But the downfall is that if you're pushing things out just for the sake of pushing it out because you're bored, you know what I mean? It's like you've got to still have the passion there for it. And if you do have a sense of passion for it, fair enough, go for it. But if you're just doing it because everyone else is doing it, there's no point you're doing it, because then you're hindering everybody else's chances and stuff. Because when the lockdown gets lifted, are you going to carry on? Yeah, that's the real question.
I think the thing for people to on that note is that if you are going to start, streaming tonight or uploading tomorrow, or whenever it is that you plan to do that step, I think what you're best to do is, rather than uploading as much as you possibly can and streaming with this out these times that you got, actually think about putting together a schedule that you can stick to in your normal life when things go back to normal. For me, I mean, I'm completely going against everything that I've just said, but I've been streaming almost every single night from 7:30 till 12.
Yeah, but but the thing is, before the lockdown, you'd stream at least four
I'd stream exactly, and all it is I've just added an extra 2 days in my week where I'm streaming, but I still stream 7:30 till 12.
This is what I mean. So you haven't really hindered it. It's just that the fact that everybody else is doing it as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, when we was looking at, obviously a couple of days ago, on the rebrand for the show, it took us so long to try and find a name that wasn't taken up. And the amount of podcasts that, we'd look at a name and then their first show was like April this year. Since this lockdown started, everybody seems to have, started making podcasts, whether it be, similar vein as ours, or whether it be, a comedy one, or, whatever. I just think, it's like you said, I think if people are going to start streaming, making content, that they just get into a regular schedule of doing it and not just abusing this time now that they've got that they didn't have before.
Yeah, it's just touching up on is what the effects of the lockdown as well. Mitch has just said that his prom got cancelled, so even has an effect on stuff like that, exams
and this is the thing though, like the older generation of people. I mean, part of this podcast for me is hopefully the longer we do it, the more people that know about it that can get in here and sort of talk about their struggles during this time or any time in their life. Obviously, at the moment, a lot of people, like we touched on earlier, be struggling. That prom for a lot of people is that dotted line to, you know, an end point of all their struggles throughout school. They're going, I'm really going to enjoy prom because of all this hard work I've put in. And when that gets stripped away from you, that would have affected me. I know when I was doing my GCSEs, I put my head down because I knew at the end of it I was getting this free party, you know, which was at the time prom. So if that would have got stripped away from me, you know, I would have just been like, well, what's the point in all this hard work? Obviously, later on in life, you realise that how important your GCSEs are. But yeah, if my prom would have got cancelled, I would have been ruined.
Mate, I was going to when pub got cancelled. I cried. Absolutely cried. I was like, oh.
That's it.
I was going to play a game of pool. I've been playing that 8-ball pool, like whatever it's called, on my phone. I think I'm in the pub.
That's it.
Get into my head. I need help.
All right, well, let's. I mean, unless any of you guys have got anything you want to add to, you know, content growth and stuff. I mean, I think we've pretty much covered it all. We'll move.
I'd agree.
We'll move on to sport now. Apart from my world and the things that I know about, apart from obviously football being cancelled, and major sporting event, well, all sporting events being cancelled at the moment and for the foreseeable. I don't really know too much about these things that we're about to touch on. Obviously, there was the virtual horse racing. So I know.
I mean, that could be the future, you know.
It could.
No, it cannot.
I heard.
It could be the future.
I heard
Virtual
it's actually
reality
quite good.
anyway, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, but come on, man. That's so easy to fix.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, did you bet on it?
Yeah, I did. Bet a hell of a lot on it as well.
Yeah,
Did I win?
I bet on it.
No.
It caught my eye as much as it caught yours, and I don't even bet. Like,
It's for a national, come on. Everyone's like that.
Sat there trying to cheer at the TV. Go on. Like Tiger
I wasn't going to bet on it. I wasn't going to bet on it. And then I seen that after it said all proceeds went to the NHS, which is the only reason I bet on it. Otherwise, because it was virtual.
Yeah.
Like, the top 5 horses, I didn't put any money on.
I did. I got like 2p back because I backed them each
Exactly. Top 5 horses, I didn't put any money on because I knew the bookies would want everyone to bet on them, thinking, I got a winner here. It's virtual. They're all going to tumble. Tiger over 5-1. He came 4th or something. Shocking.
It was first all the way and then got overtook by a horse like going like 300 miles an hour.
And you see that fall at the end, man. You see that fall at the end, man.
Horses hacking, bro.
That horse was like to one horse or something, and he just fell like, not one of my horses. That's why I'm annoyed.
It was probably the most entertaining thing I've had for that week, though. I loved it, I thought it was brilliant.
So I was
proper into it.
I'll tell you what, this is obviously going off the topic of sport, but just chatting. We, on the Vine of Entertainment, my dad at Christmas, right, he brought this, you know what s'mores are? You know what s'mores are?
Yeah.
So it's essentially a graham cracker with chocolate, marshmallow, another cracker. Yeah. So he bought this box, and in there you got graham crackers, chocolate, and some marshmallows, but he bought it at Christmas. When we opened this box, the marshmallows had like green, like mold on them, right?
Oh man!
And at first, I was like, I opened the packet, right, and they looked really nice, and I smelled them, and I was like, they don't smell that bad. They smell normal. They didn't smell of anything. And I tried one, and I thought, you know what? They don't taste any different to a normal marshmallow.
You tried the green marshmallow?
Yeah, well, it was like bits. It weren't like the whole thing.
No, it doesn't matter.
So hang on, hold fire. So
are we sure it was a bat that spread COVID?
In there, yeah, everyone just eating these.
Jeez.
Nah, like in there was like a tin with like jelly inside, which was like an indoor fire basically, like a small containable little thing.
Yeah.
And you just roast your marshmallows on this thing, whack them on the cracker, a bit of chocolate, and you know what? They were actually quite good, considering.
Right.
Oh no.
Bro, they're not as nice as everyone's trying to make out to be. It's very sickly.
They're very sickly, yeah, they are. They are very sickly. But that is
I bet they had green marshmallows.
But go on. Back to sport anyway. So obviously virtual horse racing. I've never been a big fan of the horses, but not because of any sort of ethical reasons or anything like that. I just don't get the betting system to it at all. I never have done.
I'm exactly the same. I don't bet myself. Aaron bets all the time, but I don't
just
really
don't
bet, but
understand
Love a
it.
good bet.
When they said something like when they said the proceedings involved, they go to NHS. I was like, you know what? I put a few quid on it. I think I put about £15 in it, something like that. It wasn't too much.
Yeah.
But I think that the virtual horse race, it's a monument in history, isn't it? Like solidified itself. It's like, you know what? 2020, we had a virtual Grand National.
That's it, man. I mean, I've still kept my letter from Boris from 10 Downing Street.
So have I. I've kept it. Yeah,
because that's you know, like
keep it,
in our lifetime, our grandparents would have shown us something. Like my dad was in my granddad's house the other day, before they got rid of it and whatever. But he's got a medal that he had for when he was in bomb disposal just after the war, and he showed me that, and I thought, whoa, that's mad. And like, obviously, when we get older, we'll show our grandkids this letter from 10 Downing Street that was like, you know, and we'll remember this time. Like, this is like our war, if you want. Which is, I know, you know, yes, yours is in the bin.
Yours is in the bin?
Yep.
I get that out, man.
What for?
Yeah, I'm a person who keeps stuff like that.
I'm a bit.
I don't need no piece of paper, man. That tells me to stay inside. I don't do that.
No, I just think it's a mark of history, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, when was the last time you got a letter from 10 Downing Street, Aaron?
About a week ago, it went in bin.
Yeah. What else? Oh, yeah.
Obviously, we spoke about the Premier League Football Fund.
I want to start off with grassroots first.
Go on.
So, what's your view on it, Aaron? How would you feel about the grassroots? Yeah, but come on, just explain it. I don't want one word.
Right, grassroots compared to Premier League, grassroots football is a lot more like self-orientated in terms of you're not getting the fans, you're not getting the people turning up, standing on the sideline. You've got, I'd say, maximum 30 people, 22 men, subs, maybe a couple of girlfriends on the sideline. I've got a very biased view because as we play for one, our team was top of the league, was in 2 semi-finals, and it's all been scrapped. So in that sense, I'm annoyed, but I can see why they've done it. You know, I do respect the decision. Ultimately, it is right, but it's right for it to happen from the top to bottom.
Yeah.
That's what's more annoying. The fact that we're looking up at like the Premier League, where that's not going to go behind closed doors. I do not believe it'll go behind closed doors.
The way they've done it, in my view, is they've got rid of grassroots. So that's from Northwest Counties. Is it Evo Stick as well? It might be Evo Stick.
It's from Step 7.
Straight, so Step 7 straight down. Whereas in there, so from Step 7 straight down, the clubs usually pay into the FA and stuff like that. Whereas when you get higher, that's when the FA and the TV broadcasters and stuff like that's when they start paying into the clubs. So the higher ones, they've gone, well, you're going to be about 700 million in debt here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just the way it's going to work. Whereas us, it's like, oh, they're only a Sunday or Saturday league side. We can just cancel them, which I completely and I agree with the decision. But the way they went about it, not just to us, but with the higher clubs where you go through semi-pro, they just scrapped the season without even talking to any teams or even trying to work out a way to try and get past it. Like you should be doing. You should kind of come to an agreement or try and work around things.
I think the thing for me on that one as well, on that topic, is there's a local team to me, Russell Olympic, who are they're a big step above grassroots, but they're not quite within that top tier of professional teams. And for a team like that, they rely on those gate receipts. They rely on those teams and playing games that, you know, cup earnings, you know, any cup runs like you just said you was in a semi-final. And maybe there isn't any money in your level, but at that level there is. And for them to not be able to play, for them to not be able to get those gate receipts at any point, obviously that kills teams like that. And I wouldn't be surprised after this period if there is a lot of those semi-professional to grassroots teams that have to just completely close their doors because they just haven't got any money to keep them afloat.
this is what we were saying. This one, what my view on it was, is that how many teams are going to actually return?
Yeah.
So the amateur teams, so us, I don't know whether it's if we still do or what. Aaron might know a little bit about it, but you've still got the training facilities to pay for. You've still got your pitch to pay for.
Yeah.
Aaron, and amongst others, have paid fines, so yellow cards,
Paid a
red
lot.
cards. So yes, so this is what
I ain't out of the league, mate.
Fans, but if you null and void a season, that that kind of means that Aaron's yellow cards and red cards are never counted. So the
want my money back.
There you go. So would you want your money back? What they should have done was suspended.
Of course, he's emailed him.
Yeah. So they should have suspended it, then spoke to clubs, and then took the decision from there. Because if you null and void something, you've got to pay everyone back.
Yeah.
£210 they owe me.
There you go. It's a lot of money because technically the season never happened, really, did it?
Yeah, but technically you shouldn't have got sent off.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you get sent off about every 5 years.
Try and find the game I got sent off.
You can't find it now.
No game there now, lad. No proof.
But we had an email though the other day. Our manager showing us saying that they're thinking about the cup games, so finishing off the county cups. So because there's only
pre-season.
In pre-season.
Yeah, in pre-season time. So there's only like we've got 2 semi-finals, and if we win both of them, we'll have another 2 games.
But are they gonna feel the same to you two if you win them? Meaning, so it's pre-season. Obviously, it's the same cup.
Yeah.
But you're now playing teams that have come back after a long period where all they've really been able to do is road running. You know, everyone's putting on a bit of timber. You know, are you really going to feel that achievement when you go on to win that cup pre-season?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Too right.
Fair enough.
I could be playing a friendly if I win, you're getting it rubbed in your face. Too right. Any game I play, I'm winning.
Fair enough. So
I'm going to be smoking on sideline. Don't you worry.
All right. Let's. Anything else then that you guys want to touch on? Obviously, sporting news, football news, whatever it might be.
Yeah. I got one in sport. I think the only sport that's trying to go on. Dana White seems to think he's bought an island somewhere. I don't know if you follow UFC, Stanno, or not, but my guy said that this weekend's event was going ahead. UFC, is it 49?
49.
That's now been scrapped. It's not going ahead. He's been told to cancel it, so it's cancelled. And then he seems to think he's bought an island and he's going to get all these international fighters up. He's got no chance. No matter how much money you offer someone, airspace isn't going to allow it. You're not going to be able to get private, whether it's private jet or not. You've still got to go through someone's airspace.
One, you've got to go through the airspace. 2, you've got to take off from a country that is allowing people to travel. And at the moment, there are very few small islands, if any, that are allowing, travel.
I know Ireland is, because I keep seeing Conor McGregor kicking off with their secretary about it on Twitter.
Yeah.
But no, I think they should just, like you say, you had that idiot from Tokyo, the president of Olympics from Tokyo, wanting to carry on with the Olympics. And everybody, even the athletes, said just postpone it the year.
Yeah.
Let everyone get healthy, fit, keep it the year, and then we'll go again. But yeah, he wanted to do it because he knew it's financially gaining for his country.
Yeah.
Stupid. That's been postponed now, luckily. But he was fighting toenails to get the Olympics on. Some people are so money motivated. It's becoming stupid.
I was just about to touch on this topic. I think a lot of these people, your presidents of your countries, especially for, like Birmingham, for example, will be holding the Commonwealth Games in I don't know if it's a couple of years or next year or something like that. We're investing in a lot of building improvements at the moment, and a lot of buildings have been knocked down, rebuilt. They're doing a lot of road works to make it safer in line with Commonwealth rules. And obviously, a lot of those roadworks and things like that will be built knowing that within a year, there's a payback period. So they're going to do this work now. But when everyone flies to Birmingham and uses this service and pays for this, they're going to get that money back in profits. So that's why there's a lot of people. I mean, this is probably going to come into another part where we talk about things that not everybody's going to see affected by coronavirus, but is actually getting affected massively. And it's anything like that, investments that governments have made with a payback period of a year or two. They're now having to push back an event a year. And that means their payback is now 2 or 3 years, not 1 or 2 years. And that is going to kill economies massively.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, so Premier League Football Fund. Can we talk about this now? Or has anybody else got?
I think it's a really good thing to do. However, I don't agree with the way they kind of called out every single Premier League player.
Yeah.
Is it that Hancock guy? I don't think it was
Matt Hancock. Yeah, so Matt Hancock.
Yeah,
for those of you that don't know what the Premier League Football Fund is, very quickly, essentially a lot of clubs and players have basically...
Henderson.
Yeah, so Henderson was
Jordan Henderson set it up.
Yeah, so Henderson set it up, and essentially most players are giving up, I think it's 30% of their wages, is it? Or is it more than that? So it's around about 30% of their wages, and this is across a few teams, to basically put towards the NHS in getting PPE, making sure people have got ventilators, making sure people have got supplies, that kind of thing. Now, Matt Hancock basically come out and said that he tried to put it as a thing on all clubs should be doing this. My opinion is, yes, footballers earn a lot of money, but they also have very nice houses, very expensive cars, and they've got to pay for that. Like if someone was to say to me right now, give me 30% of your wages, I'm now sitting here thinking, well, what about my car? What about my phone? How am I going to afford this and that? Obviously, it doesn't sound like a lot when you go, 30% of a footballer's wage, they must earn millions. And yes, they earn a lot. They spend a lot as well. Exactly, yeah.
The thing is, what it is all them people that mourn, right, or that call them out on Twitter, you ask them what size house you live in. Like, for me, I live in a 2-bedroom house, so I pay bedroom tax on 2 bedrooms. Yeah. Now, them footballers, like, I follow Man United, so I know, like, Jesse Lingard, he's got about an 8-bedroom house. He's a single man.
Yeah.
He's paying tax on the 8 bedrooms. Yes, he doesn't need it, but he's earned it. Whether you agree with how much they get paid, we spoke about this the other day on one of your streams, Stanno, Mark Zuckerberg, Khloe Kardashian. They all donated a hell of a lot of money.
Massive amount.
Khloe Kardashian donated £1 million. Mark Zuckerberg donated £25 million. Yeah. And people are still calling them out on Twitter, complaining about how much they are donating, saying it's 8% of what they're worth or 0.3% of what they were. Mm-hmm. And then they're trying to figure out in figures. It's stupid.
Yeah. But then they could literally counter argue and say, well, what have you put into it?
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, you could say, well, you need to put 2% of your wage into an NHS or a charitable fund. But then the argument could be, well, you need to put 2% of your wage in there then. Like, you're not seeing this run 5, nominate 5, donate 5.
Yes.
Like, £5. That's £5. You know what I mean? The guy, someone's putting 5 million in.
Yeah.
Okay, he's had £5,000 in it for his £5.
This is what I mean. So, like, I think using Premier League footballers as a scapegoat shouldn't be used. But I think if you would have turned around and said, "Could we have your help?" Jordan Henderson was already in talks of setting something up before he even came on TV to say it.
Yeah.
He put it up in his Instagram. So for him to kind of probably see that's probably what he's done. Seeing it, going, "Hey, I'll jump on that." It was already getting set up anyway.
One footballer, Danny Rose, spent 19,000, and sent Domino's worth £19,000 worth of Domino's to one hospital.
Yeah.
Yet they're not
They're
doing enough
throughout the year
footballers.
as well.
They're
They're
doing a
more than
hell
enough
of a
throughout
lot.
the year.
Especially look at England international players. All of their international earnings are always given to charity, whether that's
Yeah, they don't get
NHS
paid.
or whether that's that. All the other countries, as far as I believe, they get paid and get a wage when they go and play internationally. But England, their wage is always donated.
Yeah.
Let me just
And
grab
I
a
think she's been
refreshment,
like that
boys.
for a
You just carry
while.
on.
It's just I do think that sometimes it's used as a scapegoat, but
Yeah,
other
it's the
than that,
easy
like,
option, isn't it?
they do more than enough. Like
Yeah.
they have their own charitable funds as well, which they have.
Yeah.
So like the James Milner Fund, like the
Yeah,
Gerrard
yeah.
Foundation,
Gerrard
like
Foundation,
all
yeah.
these foundations. I'm obviously I only know Liverpool ones at the minute, but all these foundations that they have anyway do the line of work what they're asking for.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's yes, they are on a lot of money. I
And
do
they
understand
do-
that. Yes, they probably have investments, but their lifestyle is
Yeah.
equivalent to what they earn.
Yeah, and
Like, my
obviously,
lifestyle is equivalent to what I earn. So
yeah. And obviously, this doesn't necessarily justify the amount that they get, because yes, I think we could all agree they do get paid a lot of money. But you also have to throw in that the majority of footballers retire between 35 and 38 years old.
yeah,
That's not through because they want to retire. That's because their body physically cannot keep up with the game anymore. So football and most sports have an early retirement age, and that's not because they can financially support themselves. You know, there's been a few players over the years that have then had to end up going into punditry or whatever to get them through the rest of their life, or into academy training and things like that. These things that people sit there and say, I truly believe that the people that shout about it the most, about footballers not donating, are people who haven't put money in themselves.
Yeah.
Because those that put money in know.
Like, I know obviously the furlough scheme, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I know Liverpool and Tottenham decided to put all the players and staff on that. I don't agree with that.
Liverpool have took it off.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, now they've took it off, and so Spurs today. That I did not agree with at all.
Well,
it's like,
wasn't there a rumor that Newcastle weren't even going to pay through furlough?
They're not.
They're not. I heard.
Paying full staff.
But their owner doesn't care.
Yeah, I heard
Newcastle doesn't care. He's an idiot.
I heard that Newcastle weren't paying their staff at all.
No.
Which then we can almost go against ourselves and say, well, surely you could take some money from your football players, and that would then finance the rest of your backroom staff, if that's what you want to call it. We're not asking for a 30% or 20%, but an amount from all your players, whether that differs because of the wage they're on, to then fund the rest of them, or just use that furlough scheme. I mean, yes, it's bad, but like we just said, throughout the year, your footballers are probably one of the highest earning in the country, so they're also the ones that spend the most. So they're helping that economy probably more than you or I.
Just imagine their tax a month.
Yeah, exactly, and this is the thing that people don't realise.
More than what I'll probably earn in a lifetime.
Yeah. Their tax in a month is probably more than the money I earn in a year.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
It's always big money, and people that like we said, people that pick on footballers because they know they earn a lot. That they need to look at the bigger picture. They also spend more. They also do a lot more with that free time they get when they're not training. A lot of them do stuff for like Make-A-Wish Foundation. And all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, maybe we're a bit biased because we're all football fans, but I hope that people get our point of view. And
I just to clarify it, that is it. Like, do I think they should be paying into it? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I think they? Do I think the way they went about it, so the government and stuff, pretty much call them out? No, I don't.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, yes, they should be paying for it, but no, the government should have come out and actually broadcasted it on his daily interview or
His daily updates. Yeah.
Yeah, daily updates and scapegoat a Premier League player. No, he should have done that. He shouldn't have done that whatsoever. They should have just allowed them, the clubs to make an action or make a move, which they were doing anyway.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that there was a lot of players out there that donated before that even
they've
happened.
got to look after their staff before, like, you know what I mean? Like they're telling the businesses, right, you got to look after your staff. Your staff is the main priority. Don't let them go. Put them onto this. Put them onto that. There's loads of schemes out there.
Yeah,
the Premier League clubs are a business.
Yeah, 100%.
So they're going to have to sort that out before anything else. So it's
people forget about the guys that work in the ticket office, the guys that work in the club shops, your stewards, people like that, the guys that go cleaning, your groundsmen, all these additional people that work for football clubs that have still got to be paid. You can't just say to a business, you're going to give us 30% of all the money you would pay to all your staff, because there's other staff. There's not just your 11 men on a pitch. Football, it shouldn't have happened the way it did. It should have been. You know what I want to touch on, actually? I want to move on from this subject. There was a fund set up by a couple of doctors in the UK. And it was like NHS Protection Fund or something like that. And it was literally PPE fund, yeah. There was a actor donated, I think it was about 100,000. I can't remember the exact number. It's a lot of money anyway. I think it's about 100,000, let's say that. And their original goal was like $2,500, and he donated like 100,000 instantly. So they increased it. And it ended up being, I think, about to about 250,000, I think it was, that they wanted to donate in the end. I actually did a giveaway on stream, and a guy on my stream said, with the money that you would have given to me, just donate it to this link. Now, I hadn't seen that link anywhere, and I thought to myself, when Australia fires were going on, there was that link everywhere, Facebook everywhere. Like, you could just go on, donate your money, and that was it. It was, it went to wherever. But this link, I heard about it a lot on the news, on Good Morning Britain. I've seen it a lot around on Facebook, but I never actually seen the link for me and people to go and donate to. It took me ages to find that link, and I just think, there's a lot of the government are out here saying, anything you can give, anything you can give. But where do we go to give this money? That link is not being circulated at all.
Maybe there is a centralized place to put and where you can actually donate. But there's that many links and that many things you've got to kind of donate to. Sometimes you just don't know
so many.
Which one is the main one?
This link would be for this. Yeah, I completely agree.
Okay, so
I agree with that, but go on.
Let's carry on, bro, because I was about to move on to potentially what is our final subject of the night. So
no, it's okay. Go. Off you go.
No, go on. Okay, so obviously we've all been bored. Obviously we spoke about content, we spoke about sport. So with all this time now that we're not watching sport, or even playing ourselves, Sidemen set a good example. Obviously a group of people who spend most of their time, producing videos that are outdoors, or the time they spend producing the Sidemen channel videos is outdoors. Then now they've been forced inside, like we mentioned earlier on in the show. Their most recent video, they had to learn 24 skills in 24 hours. I think it's shown a lot of more people now are trying out things in the house, like gardening, DIY, things that before they would always put off. Now they've got nothing to do. Everyone's like, right, what are we doing? So is there something, you, Aaron, that you started doing, whether it be streaming, whether it be whatever, that you wasn't doing before coronavirus happened?
It's not really a skill, but I've just appreciated time more.
Yeah.
In terms of, like I said, as I said at the start of this podcast, I started this live stream about being stuck in hospital.
Yeah.
That time being in there was tough. But
Yeah.
So you appreciate it a lot more when you get home. Just the sheer amount of stuff you can get done. Like you've not been up here, but at my front garden, I had a lot of trees that didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
They're gone. A lot of bushes gone. It made it difficult for me to see out of my own house, like through the front window, due to the tenants that was here prior to us.
Yeah.
Didn't look after the house, so I've just been like sorting the front and back garden out, making it an alright area for little ones to play in.
Yeah.
Like I said, just doing a lot of gaming.
Yeah.
Because I do have a lot of free time, so I've done lots of gaming. But like you said, we've done that before. That's nothing new.
It frees up. It makes
not really
allows
a
you to
skill.
do these jobs you want to do anyway.
I've done quite a bit of baking with little ones. I've enjoyed that. That's been an enjoyment.
Yeah, I bet you
baking, so cookies.
So you can eat all the food afterwards, yeah.
Chocolate Rice Krispies, although that's not baking. Ooh, they're the ones that bit of dairy milk melted.
Ooh. Whack them in the fridge for like an hour.
That while we're on chocolate as well. We spoke about this, and it can be a topic for everyone to get involved in the comments, whether they watch it after it's live or now.
They watch on demand.
What is your favourite chocolate?
Oh, we had this discussion, man.
There's so many. When you think about it, right, I said mine the other day, right, and I said a white lion bar. And then I thought about it.
That was my face as well.
So many.
That was my face when you said white lion bar to me, and I went, oh man, I mean, like,
do you know why I said that?
It's a good bar, but there's a lot.
I mean, I bigged Ash up actually. I said Ash had a good work ethic when we was talking about this. We was talking about a paper.
Oh yeah, it was me and you that spoke about chocolate bars.
That's what
we were talking about paper rounds.
And when we said that we could spend our money on like obviously in shop before you even got it at the end of the week.
I know ways.
That's telling you. I used to buy like a lion bar every day, and that's why, because we spoke about that first, and then spoke about the chocolate. That's what made me remind me of the lion.
Yeah.
So everybody in the chat or everybody in the comments after, tell us your favourite chocolate bar and why. I will give you mine now. Mine got to be a Whisper.
Your favourite chocolate bar?
My favourite chocolate bar is a Whisper.
Is a Whisper. So not a white lion bar.
Not a white lion. It's a Whisper.
Okay, so you heard it here.
Oh, it's nice that, especially when it starts to melt as well.
Azza_96, his favourite chocolate bar
is a Whisper.
Is a Whisper. Not even a caramel Whisper. Just standard.
No, they're not nice then.
Alright, so
cut that.
Alright, so
Whisper.
I'm sitting here like I'm trying to stall out me because I ain't about to upset people that are watching this video. Jay in the chat said mine is. Oh, this is what. Yo, so for the benefit of those guys that watch this on demand, and for Ash because he was not there the day that this happened, but Jay is currently in the chat right now. He's someone that's come through from my stream, one of the notification gang, and he's from South Africa, if I get that right. And he basically asked me in stream the other day, do we get Kit Kats?
Yeah.
Because he didn't realise, but then he said, and this is his favourite chocolate bar, and I have no idea what this is. His favourite chocolate bar is a PS chocolate. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yes.
It could be a
Photoshop
PS
chocolate bar.
A Photoshop chocolate bar. You probably don't know.
Chocolate? Is it, I'm guessing it's South African then.
It's got to be some like South African thing.
Surely.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Anyway, Stanno, I appreciate that, Jay, for the comment, but stop stalling, big man.
I'm going to throw it out there. My favourite chocolate bar is a Boost
I remember
bar.
the one you said, I was going to say, I remember the one you said the other night, don't try and drink.
If that's what it is, my favourite's a Boost bar, and if you live in the UK, you can get, and this is not an ad, this is not sponsored, I pay for this with my own damn money, but if you get a Tesco's meal deal, you can get a Duo Boost bar in the meal deal, boom, and they are banging. So yeah, Boost bars are my favourite chocolate.
Ash?
I don't even eat chocolate.
Oh, that's a lie.
Anymore.
I don't anymore. I don't eat it anymore.
To be fair, I'm the same. I don't eat it that often. When I do, it's a boost bar.
If I'm really like, if I need an energy before football or something like that, it's either double decker.
Big.
Right.
That's a big chocolate bar. That, yeah, go on.
A boost or a boost bar.
Boost bars, man. I'm telling you, they're underrated.
Double decker. Double decker.
I've still got a double decker in my celebration tub here. That left from Christmas.
Okay, I'll have them after.
That's it. Going in the bin.
You know, I wanna chuck it in now on the topic of chocolate. I know we've been here for a while now with the show and that, but let's just keep on going. Obviously, recently or just before the whole lockdown situation happened, a lot of people were going out, buying everything. I'm not sure what it was like up by you. PC World CurrazY down by us. My dad popped in there a few days before lockdown to look at a warranty on something in the house. They'd actually sold out of freezers. People actually bought another freezer so they could buy more food and freeze it.
I've got 2 freezers.
Anyway. Yeah, we've got 2 freezers. But this is people. We're talking people buying 3 freezers, like just so they can.
How do you know they could have just moved into that?
Well, all these people, a few days before lockdown. Oh, come off it, man.
Could have thought, you know what?
Just want another freezer, yeah.
Yeah, just want another freezer.
Because
I've got one of them. I've got the fridge freezer, and then I've got one of them big ones.
Box freezer, yeah. So ours is. All right. Well, what? I mean, we obviously
new skill.
We started we started talking about chocolate bars, but Ash, is there anything you've been doing, trying to learn, trying to perfect, other than kick up to the toilet roll?
I'd say that I'm indulging in some very good conversations with my brother about work and about coaching and stuff. That's been helping.
All right, yeah.
And I think I'm trying to get better at camera skills. Might sound a bit thingy thinking, what do you mean? But like presenting yourself.
Okay.
So being a bit more confident in that sense. Using that. Been working a little bit around Photoshop. So trying to get better at that. Finding new ways. I've been looking online to see if there's any
online courses and stuff.
Yeah, online courses for graphic design. See if I can get myself qualified in that sense. Because what I realistically want to do, I might just try and set up a little bit a portfolio.
Yeah.
And then stuff to sell or help companies set up their own businesses and stuff. So I haven't been busy, but I'm just trying to weigh up a few options.
That's it. I think this is a good time for it.
Now where I'm like, I was speaking to my brother the other day. Like my biggest regret is to not pursue the career of a graphic designer. That is my biggest regret. And I think that now it's kind of a bit of a sign. Do it.
Yeah, I feel like
because you can see now all the templates and all the graphics what I've designed.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
The thing anyway.
Anything we've ever used, whether when it was the COD pod, now what's the Intel, even down to the logo itself, was all designed by the one and only Mr. Curran. So. Yeah, vouch for him. Anyone listening, anyone does come across this, go and check out Curran's Twitter below. Drop him a message if you need any graphics doing. If that's something obviously you wanna look into doing.
Cheap.
All right. Well, for me, I mean, new skills. Not really been learning any new skills. I think what I've been doing, especially this weekend, obviously now I've not been working from home for this weekend. I've had more time to actually go and spend with my family. Like my usual daily life, very much, go to work for the majority of the day, come home, go to the gym, quick snack with my family if they haven't eaten already, and then it's onto streaming, onto content creation. Whereas recently it's been, wake up, obviously last few days we've been sorting all this stuff out with the podcast, with the show. Jump on for the daily duos with Aaron, and then moving into a break, go downstairs, sunbathe, start cooking. I never usually cook. If I do, it's prep meals. It's something very small. But recently I've been trying to, whip up some curry scrambled eggs or something, like I've been trying to turn myself into a bit of Gordon Ramsay, a bit of Gordon Stanno. So, I see Aaron's face. What's up with curry fried eggs, bro?
Curry fried egg?
You don't know what curry fried... Oh, my God. Yeah. Curry fried eggs. Banging. Get, I'm going to give you the instructions right now, real quick. And it's... Where's he gone?
He's gone.
Bro, he's just messed up my whole scenes. Like, oh,
he's back,
there we go.
He's back.
That's
he's
fine.
Back.
I mean, bro, he's sent us all over the plate. Can I move him?
It's what?
No, we're all good.
What's up?
Right, curry fried eggs are, you get, you crack, I do it with 2 eggs. So you crack 2 eggs into a bowl, whatever, whisk them, and just so they're just like mixed up. Then, put a bit of salt and pepper in there. Now, I know Gordon Ramsay says you shouldn't put salt and pepper in scrambled eggs at the start. He always says you add it, but this is quick, dead simple, no extra stuff going on. So, you chop up, I have half an onion, dice it, whip it in the pan with a bit of oil. So you just get them nice and browned off. Then you throw in some peppers and some chopped peppers and some chopped tomato. Then you're going to chuck in some peas, bit of curry powder, stir that, and then you put in your eggs, and you just make sure you keep scraping the eggs. Obviously, you're making scrambled eggs. That's it, done. Mate, honestly, it's game changing, and it takes about 20 minutes to do the whole thing, from preparing everything to actually cooking. So
right, let me just write that down in my book of no chance.
Book of no chance.
Not a chance of I making that.
Honestly, it's
My
actually quite
God,
good.
that must be horrible.
Nah, it's all right, man. Honestly, it's all right.
Might as well just piss in a cup and drink it. It'll be a bit.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, that's horrendous.
Nah, just for me, you don't put anything with eggs, man.
That's horrendous. Right.
Oh yeah, Jay did say that in South Africa, no one is allowed to drink, so they're all raiding the shops for alcohol.
Mad.
So no one is allowed to drink, so they raid an alcohol shop.
No one. What do you mean, like?
I'm guessing he's probably going down the lines of no pubs.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's same as us.
I was sat there thinking, what? You can't drink? Like, what kind of government is that?
I think it's just a case of no pubs and stuff. Yeah, we're exactly the same.
Yeah, we're literally exactly the same. Well, I guess that kind of brings us to the end of the show. I mean, we've obviously talked about ourselves again. Made another introduction to who we are, what we've been doing. I mean, it's probably end of the show. I mean, it's probably something that we should have spoke about maybe at the start, but I just want to chuck it out there and apologise for not uploading when we was the COD pod. From my side, I feel like the original idea we had, I know we've all spoke about this, the original idea we had relied on getting a guest on every week. And if we struggled to get that guest, then the show just wouldn't happen, which was the only content we was producing as the COD pod. So when that didn't happen, you guys didn't see anything from us at all. I just wanted to let you know, in the background, we were working, or Aaron was working on Scrimmage Showdowns, which, unfortunately his PlayStation broke the day that was supposed to happen. We was also going to work on a top 5 plays. Unfortunately, we announced we was going to do a top 5 plays to another group of people out there that also have a podcast. I'm not going to mention any names in here because it's just not worth it. But unfortunately, they are good friends with a company who has a very big platform and essentially a better place to get the clips for those top 5 plays. Now, since they announced they were going to do it, I don't actually think there's actually been an episode of that happening. But we just sort of allowed them to run with it because we didn't want to, as we touched earlier, we didn't want to populate a pool of content that's just exactly the same as the next one. Which is also why we've now rebranded the show to the 3 of us and a guest as and when we get one. We'll talk about general news, how our lives are, any struggles we're currently going through, and any gaming news that we pick up as we go along. This way we're not sort of tied down to any particular genre of game, particular content or people. And hopefully you guys enjoy it a little bit more, hearing people talk about real life things that you guys can have maybe something in common with. So that's basically from my side why, the COD pod stopped. I mean, I don't know if you want to add anything, Ash.
I think it allows us to relate to more things what we are related to in a way.
Yeah.
I think pushing content out for COD pod kind of just centralised it just around Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And trying to please certain individuals as opposed to try and enjoy it ourselves. So it was kind of our show, but was getting run by somebody else, I felt.
Yeah.
Which is not the best way. Like,
no,
we set this up just because we like to discuss things and this is what we like to do. Not just because we set it up and you can go, oh, by the way, you need to do this and you need to do that. I'm not about that.
Like, I think we spoke about it earlier.
Like it, it's just...
We spoke about it earlier, and there's a difference between feedback and that's constructive, and then just putting people down every time that make that content. And I feel like that's probably a good point to throw out to especially the guys in here that do make content, Jay and Mitch. Yes, take people's criticisms on board, review what they've said, look at how that changes the content you're producing. If it's something you feel improves your content and gives you a better chance at succeeding, then run with that improvement. But don't let people take over. Yeah.
That's it.
Don't tell someone how to run the captain the ship, because you're just gonna get a not a nice thing back. Just the way it is. Constructive, give feedback to somebody, yes, but don't tell someone how to run the ship.
Yeah.
Because it's not the best thing. And that's exactly for us. Was like, well, are we actually doing it for what we like to do? Are we actually doing it just for other people?
I think we was actually trying to impress other people rather than, doing something we enjoy doing. Okay. Aaron, you got anything you want to add on the rebrand, the restructure, the old COD pod?
No, not really.
Okay.
I just feel like I think this is going to be better for ourselves. Like you two have mentioned, it's what I'm going to say is probably going to be along similar lines. Is we allowed too many voices to be heard.
Yeah.
People let it get it under the skin. I laughed it off. I never wanted it. Anyway, you both know my opinion on that. It is what it is. We restart, refresh, we go again.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Exactly that. I think there's no better time as well for a show like this. I know we spoke about it earlier. Yes, there was a lot of podcasts out there. I believe that ours will be different to the majority that's out there, purely because all of us come from a gaming background. Obviously, the majority of what we talk about may be gaming related because that's what we're involved in the most. We play a lot of games, we watch a lot of streams and stuff like that. But as ITV are doing at the moment, hashtag Get the Nation Talking, this is also a platform for our chat to tell us things that they're struggling with that we might be able to help on, guide on, or just chat through. But also a place for where us three can come every week. And if, Aaron's struggling or, Ash is struggling, we could just have a chat that you guys can see us struggling with things. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of celebrities that post very nice photos or, behind the cameras, behind those nice photos, there's always a life that no one knows anything about. So
absolutely.
Hopefully, from me, we can use this to try and keep people positive, get people tuning in every week and just getting our take on current news, our lives. And obviously, when we do get guests, their lives, their route to success and their route to where they are now, I guess. So,
yeah. The last thing I would like to say is apology if there has been any laggy on the webcam. I've seen it myself throughout the stream. It's been really bad this week. I haven't had this problem before, but I will figure it out and sort it out for the next episode.
Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, that is the final episode. Right, the first episode, sorry, not the final episode. Whoa, we're only just starting.
Woo,
that is the end of the first episode of What's the Intel. And from me, I'd just like to say to everyone, please stay safe. Please stay indoors no matter where you are in the world. It is literally saving people's lives. But most of all, guys, stay positive. We will get through this. Yes, a lot of people like to get out of the house to maybe escape, maybe go and play football where you can forget about your struggles and your stresses. But guys, stay positive. We'll get through this. It's a couple of weeks, a couple of months at most. We're going to be all right and we'll be back to normal soon. So with that being said, guys, have a lovely day. Have a lovely night. I'll see you in the next episode.